Got a bit overboard there, mate.
Why? What?
The old sponsorship deal.
I just love the the refreshing taste.
The refreshing taste
of Beppis.
Oh, nothing to do with the debut of a wrestler with a Beppis tattoo on themselves.
Who?
No idea. Oh boy, sorry about this. I mishandled some chip fat.
Oh.
Here is your wrestling news. Roman Reigns blasts CM Punk in an interview. Scrapped plans for a Hall of Famer at SummerSlam have been revealed. And Ric Flair has rejoined the NWA in 2021. More on that in a bit. So, tonight is quite an interesting night for the wrestling world, isn't it?
It certainly is, Tom.
Some rumours of an impending debut of everybody's favourite absent character. That's right, Pepsi Man! And CM Punk. This is the thing about tonight. I mean, if it's looking like how it's looking...
Yep.
7 years, fans of the wrestling have gone, what's CM Punk going to do?
Yeah.
And today we could potentially say farewell to all those CM Punk return rumour videos that we have, I won't lie, dined off.
We're out of business then. We're
pretty much shut in shop.
Yeah.
So it's been great working with everybody. Thank you very much indeed. Lovely, honour and a privilege. Roman Reigns was in conversation with Ariel Helwani last night, and the name CM Punk came up in conversation, and Roman's comments were quite intriguing. On the subject of part-timers and stars like John Cena making brief returns, Roman Reigns said, if more eyeballs are being grabbed to our product to watch part-time performers, I'm not going to complain. I'm going to capitalise on that. I'm a full-time performer. I've done everything that needs to be done to stay in this position. If anyone comes along to try and push me out of that position, I'm going to fight like hell to keep the position I have built. So Roman Reigns is, and he's going to do all that as well. Woo-hoo! That's a sexy time. So Roman Reigns, that was in conversation talking about John Cena, his match at SummerSlam tomorrow night, but then the name CM Punk came up in this discussion with Ariel Helwani as well, and Roman Reigns had some choice words to say about CM Punk. These statements are coming from people who thought they were better than they were in regards to CM Punk. CM Punk wasn't as good or as over as John Cena, and he didn't move the needle like The Rock. Couldn't help but get a little blast in there.
Some shit getting thrown, Tom.
It's funny how not even WWE are able to avoid the conversation. I mean, like John Cena doing a little acknowledgement of it on SmackDown last week, and the night before, Roman Reigns even chucking a little thing in there as well.
I feel like they kind of not exactly capitalise on it, but how can you not reference it in some way? It is literally the biggest thing in wrestling at the moment. The will he, won't he? Will he turn up, won't he turn up? And I think it's hard not to acknowledge him. He is the king of the table, the head man.
the head man, the king of the table, the head man, Romulus Reigns. More on that, I mean, as we get it, I mean, we're literally hours away from AEW Rampage, the first dance now. We know that, as well, we know that Renee is going to be interviewing CM Punk on Oral Sessions. A little preview for the premiere of her podcast went out today as well. It's all looking very intriguing. So we will have live reactions to AEW Rampage tonight from 3 a.m. Adam Pacitti will be live streaming his reactions to what could be the only night in the history of the world where the answer is yes to, is Pepsi okay? Let's head over to the other event happening this weekend, SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Lest we forget. And PW Insider giving us some details about a Hall of Famer who was nearly part of SummerSlam.
PW Insider reporting that WWE wanted Mike Tyson to provide the voiceover for the opening video for Saturday's pay-per-view, with focus on the Universal Championship match between Roman Reigns and John Cena.
Mike Tyson!
That's a bit of
the baddest man on the planet.
Well, that's pretty good.
That was from the build-up video to WrestleMania 14.
Oh my god, yeah, of course it was.
Because I am a fan of a certain vintage. The baddest man. I don't know why you'd have Mike Tyson as a voiceover.
I have no idea. Maybe it's just them trying to throw as much as they can at the SummerSlam.
Very possibly. I mean, he has got a relationship with WWE that goes back a bit. Obviously, he was on AEW recently, so they want to kind of Get him back over.
Yeah, come here, pal. Come here.
Get in this side. Get in this side. He might still turn up. You never know. I'll tell you what is turning up very soon. The second part of season 3 of Dark Side of the Ring.
Very nice.
I've been enjoying this particular Dark Side of the Ring.
I haven't seen any of this season yet, and I am ashamed of myself for not doing so because some of the episodes looked incredible.
Love the Collision in Korea one in particular was especially spicy.
Saying that's good.
We can confirm this morning that it will return to Vice TV on September the 16th at 9 p.m. New subjects being covered in the next 7 episodes, including the infamous plane ride from hell.
That's going to be exciting.
Oh, this is in 2002 on their way back from the UK. 2002 or 2003?
2002. One of the two.
One of those two.
One of the two.
It was a plane ride back from the UK. It had too much quinoa, and it all went a bit wrong. Chris Kanyon, FMW, XPW, Luna Vachon, who has one of my favourite quotes from a wrestler, was when Luna Vachon said about Sable, "I'm gonna take her Estee Lauder face and turn it into an Andy Warhol original."
Whoa.
Great phrase from Luna. All about Luna in a bit. Bruiser Bedlam, and the steroids trial from 1994. We talked about this on the Classic Raw review over the past 6 months, and it's a subject that always gets brought up in wrestling. I'm intrigued to see it.
Yeah.
I'm also intrigued to see a legend from Japan returning to this side of the water. Returning to this side of the world, but returning to America, Andrew.
Yeah, so Minoru Suzuki is returning to the Americas. It was announced on Thursday that Suzuki will make his return to GCW at GCW Highest in the Room, at the Ukrainian Cultural Center in Los Angeles, California on Friday, September 17th. That is really, really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
He's a force of nature, Suzuki. He's not just doing Highest in the Room as well. He's going to be doing a bunch of shows for GCW. And this is the first time Suzuki's been over in America since 2019. Obviously, the pandemic put paid to any momentum that the Suzuki had over here, but he's a legend. He'll no doubt pick that up very, very quickly. And this is a story that you would never expect to read in 2021, but I'm all for it. Ric Flair seemingly rejoining the NWA, at least for one night only, at the very least. So exactly. So Ric Flair released from his WWE deal. We saw him at AAA at the side of Andrade, and some may have even seen him, possibly him, having a little meal on a train. Well, that's apparently it wasn't him. He's reassured us it wasn't him.
He out to save businesses or whatever. It's the one.
It's basically it's been the best advert for train travel since split ticketing. Ric Flair is making a return to the National Wrestling Alliance. It was confirmed by the NWA last night that at NWA 73 next Sunday night, August the 29th, Ric Flair will come home to Chase Park Plaza at St. Louis, Missouri. Wow. Really excited to see Flair back in the Chase. This is where Ric Flair did some of his most legendary work.
Yeah.
10-time NWA champion. This is a perfect fit.
I can't wait. Do you know what I'm looking forward to so much, Tom? Like when they do the promos, they do the backstage promos, and it's on the set just to the side of where the ring and stuff is, and I can't wait for him just to cut an absolute blinder. I'm so excited for that.
It's going to be a good night, NWA 73. It's part of a 2-night pay-per-view extravaganza for the National Wrestling Alliance. Empower on the Saturday night, NWA's first ever all-women's pay-per-view. And it feels like the revolving door of, the forbidden revolving door of women's wrestling is going to be at the Chase over the weekend, where it's just going to be stars from AEW, stars from Impact Wrestling, NWA stars, indie stars, all descending on Empower. It's going to be a really amazing night. But then on NWA 73, we're going to see what is being billed as a brawl in the loo, which over here sounds different to what I think they mean it to sound like.
Yes, yeah, very much so.
Banging each other's heads off the porcelain. Yeah. It's basically a hardcore match. Tom Latimer, Crimson, and Tim Storm. 12-man battle royal for the NWA National Championship top contendership. Tyrus, the Masked Man, and Jordan Clearwater will face DePope, Odinsaw, and Paro. 6-man shenanigans there. The NWA National title's on the line with Adonis, Chris Adonis facing James Storm. Long necks and rednecks are my friend. The NWA Tag Team titles on the line. Aaron Stevens and JR Kratos versus BCS 666 and Mecha Wolf 450. Mickie James and Kylie Rayner, first time ever.
That's going to be very exciting.
Fun times. And a title versus career match taking place. The NWA World Champion Nick Aldis will face Trevor Murdoch with Murdoch's career on the line. Murdoch told me on Desert Island Craps that once he's done with NWA, he is done. Like, he doesn't plan to do anything more in wrestling. This is kind of the last stop of his career.
Wow.
Which makes me think that maybe
Come on, buddy.
might be the way he goes out. But we'll find out a week on Sunday.
We will.
And Ric Flair will be there.
Woo!
What a time to be a wrestling fan.
Well, it's insane, Tom. It's insane, and it's very exciting. People will be like, oh, Mark's this and Mark's that. Who cares? Wrestling's fun. Wrestling's really fun, and this is the most excited I personally have been about wrestling in a very, very long time.
If you can't get behind that level of excitement, then there's no point you watching what we do. Have an amazing day. More news as we get it later on today. Let's do the sign-off. Keys.
Oh, love you. Bye.